Welcome to the Masterclass series, and today we are talking about taking massive action. I know a lot of you are going to be learning, but you're not doing. So what I say, write this down. Learning equals passive action. Doing equals massive action. I love the quote from James Clear. He has a book on habits. He says, we often avoid taking action because we think I need to learn more. But the best way to learn more is by taking action. When I was at William E. Wood at the mall, I'll tell you a quick story. So just so you know, my first year of real estate, I sold over 52 houses. The average real estate agent sells about 3 houses per year. I sold 52 my first year. And, you know, the lady, I worked at William E. Wood at the mall, and there was a kiosk there. And the girl said to me, I wasn't out of training. I was just in the first week of training class. The girl said, well, we have somebody who canceled at the mall and we need someone to cover the kiosk. Is there any way you could cover it? And I was like, yeah, sure. She's like, are you out of your training? I was like, who cares? I can do it. She was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, absolutely. I can do it. So I go there. I was there for 5 minutes, and she told me, she said, now, whatever you do, don't leave the kiosk. And I was like, okay. So she said, only if you have to go to the bathroom and for a short amount of time. So this guy comes up. I wasn't even there 5 minutes. I was logging onto the computer. Guy walks up. He said, ma'am, do you know what time it is? I said, it's time for you to buy a house. He was like, well, actually, I am looking. I said, well, can I pull up some houses for you right now? They had a computer right there. He said, sure. So he looked at them. It was like the third house I pulled up, maybe even the first. I don't know. I pulled up one. He's like, oh, I love that. I want to go look at it. I said, okay. So I said, let's go right now. I wrote a note on the thing on the kiosk, said, gone to the bathroom, be back soon. I wasn't allowed to do that. It is what it is. Took him in the car, showed him that one house. He said, I love it. I want to write an offer. Remember, I'm still in my first week of training, not even out of training. I was like, sure, let's go back to the office. I grabbed my broker. I called her on the way back to the office. I said, guess what? I'm writing an offer. She's like, what? You're not even out of training. I was like, that's okay. Here we go. It's a matter of, yes, we need to learn, but we have to take massive action. Another thing that we need to do is constantly fill your tank. The number one thing I do to kind of fill my tank is to get massages, because I don't relax well. I'm constantly on the go, but that really, really fills my tank. So I get a lot of massages. It's just one of those things. I know that the second I start feeling like, am I in a rut? What am I doing that is not building my confidence? Am I doing too many things that are chipping away at my confidence? Now, I want you to write this down. You want to flex your courage muscle. There's things that you are not going to want to do, and it doesn't matter. You just have to say to yourself, I don't care if I want to do it or not. I'm going to flex my courage muscle. I'm so tired of people saying, oh, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could do that. I do a lot of fasting. And so even when I tell someone, I'm like, oh, I'm doing a 24-hour fast, or I'm doing a 2-day fast or a 3-day fast, people say, oh, I could. I even have people, I say, I'm doing a 6-hour eating window. They're like, oh, there's no way I could ever do that. And I'm like, well, if you think you can't, you won't be able to. You have to flex your courage muscle. Things that you think that you can't do, just stop and say, you know what? I can do them. I'm going to fill my courage bank, and I'm going to flex my courage muscle. But the precursor, listen, confidence is the precursor to courage. Like, if you're not feeling confident, you're not going to have that courage to be able to do it. So you've got to fill that confidence muscle. Okay. Now, I want to remind you that everyone says, okay, let's write this down. When is the best time to plant a tree? If I said to you, when's the best time to plant a tree? What would you say? It's actually probably 10 years ago, right? But when's the second best time? Right now. I have a podcast called Waste Away Through Intermittent Fasting, and it has over 185 downloads per month, but it stayed at like 40,000 for a really long time. And people forget there's a lot of things I've had to do to get to that point. And there's a lot of things I've had to do in general in life to get to where I am, and I'm not where I want to be, but everyone has success dues to pay. I want you to write that down. In real estate, we pay around $600 to $800 in realtor dues, depending on what part of the country you live in. There's all kinds of dues that you have to pay. And I look back at my history, and it's just been a roller coaster. I mean, honestly, I've just had to pay so many dues. And when I say dues, I mean failures, like things that have gone sideways. And I think we look at other people and we look at them, and you look at a top agent in this area or a top agent in that area, and you just think, oh, they had success, success, success. And it's like, no, it's impossible to get what you have without going through what you had to go through. And so you just remind yourself that everyone pays success dues. And I want to leave you with one last thought, and that is that this is something I'm working on, and I hope that you do too, is that I'm constantly saying, because I'm such a goal person, that I finally had to say to myself, Chantel, who do you want to become? Not what I want to be, but who do you want to become? And it's not as much about what do you accomplish, but who do you want to become? And I just started thinking what kind of relationships do I want to have? What kind of mother do I want to be? What kind of leader do I want to be? And I always tell you this, 10 people in life are going to hate you. 10 people in life are going to absolutely love you. And 10 people don't care one way or another about you, right? No matter how amazing you are. I don't care how perfect you are. There's always going to be 10 people who love you, 10 people who hate you, 10 people who don't care one way or another about you. And so, that is a piece of mindset that you have to always remind yourself when someone's, saying something about you. But you do always want to ask yourself, who is it that I want to become? And I want to tell you a few things. I always start my day spending time with God. I start with the Bible app. I listen to a sermon. I listen to a leadership podcast. I go to the gym every morning, at least 6 times a week. I do the vibration plate. I go in the sauna. I write in my journal. I do coconut pulling. There's some routines that I've created that I literally don't even think about. And so I'd love for you guys to, think about some different things of who do I want to become? And then what do I want to accomplish? And, I listened to a podcast with the owner of Spanx, and this is kind of some of the things that podcasts do when you're listening to them. But I found out that the owner of Spanx was the first woman billionaire that didn't inherit it, or her husband isn't the one who inherited it and left it to her. But I was like, you know what? I think my goals are too small. I want to be the second billionaire woman who did it without her husband, not without her inheritance, and just live on, maybe $100,000 or $300,000 a year and just give the rest of it away. You guys all know my goal is to live on 10% of my income and give 90% away. But I had to make a plan. That's what I wanted to do. That's how I wanted to create my future. But all of that and all of these ideas came from self-development. My husband and son, it was so funny the other day because I was literally it was on my 8th podcast for the day. And finally my husband looked at me and he was kind of mad. He was like, do we have to always be in self-development mode, or can we just chill? I said, no, we have to always be in self-development mode. And I'm a little bit over the top. So, I can get a little crazy with it, but I probably could encourage you guys to move that needle a little bit over. So here's what I want you to do. I want to kind of think about yourself and think about what your dreams are, what your goals are. And I want you to think about, do you have your goal anchored in something that's bigger than yourself? Because it's for me, it's okay, if I want to make this much money, I don't want to make this much money just because I want to, have this or have that, because it's about giving it away. And when you say, I want to be a blessing to other people, that's how you are able to kind of have a bigger goal for yourself. You're going to create a personal mission statement. I want you to write down mine just so you can keep it in the top of your head. My personal mission statement is to grow people in a closer and deeper walk with God through healthy living and real estate. So now you have to create your own, but you want to you can use that to think about, okay, what is it that I want, And I want you to write this down. I want you to create business, financial goals, family goals, health goals, spiritual goals, personal goals, leadership goals, and servanthood goals. And we'll be working on them, over and over and over. But here's the biggest thing I want to encourage you. At our company, one of the things that we used to do is we'd have accountability meetings that we would have people do every week. And, people were like, it was actually required if you wanted to have leads with our company. If you didn't want leads, you didn't have to. But if you wanted leads, you did. And what happened was people were like, I don't like that. I'm an independent contractor. I want to do my own thing. And we're like, okay, that's fine. We're going to make it where it's optional. You don't have to do it. And we just had we kind of fell it off. That just kind of fell off. And the truth is, if I go to the gym and I know my personal trainer is waiting, I go to the gym in like a small group, but a couple times a week, I like to do a personal trainer. I don't care if I feel like going or not. I'm there because I know I have someone holding me accountable. And my wish for you, we're going to be starting back weekly accountability meetings. I'm going to be leading them off. And my encouragement for you is for you to attend every single one, no matter what happens. Not making an excuse, not saying I'm not doing this. You're just saying, yep, I'm going to hold an accountability meeting. I'm going to go there no matter what. I'm going to take it to the next level because it's not about learning more. People are like, oh, I need to learn more. I need to learn more. No, you have to take action. And the way that you take action is by having people around you hold you accountable.